out of spectators bar, and well, we've had a couple of big nights at air lately, particularly after the race with a bit of music too, Darren, so it's been good fun.
Yeah, no, look, it was the other night, HRNZ conference, we had trackside dining, we had a number of functions across the course, really good feedback on the food lately, so Graham's doing a great job there. We had the Smoker Open, and of course a massive race night, a premier race night, 690,000 in stakes, and the highest turnover we've had so far this season at 1.63 million, so really good. Bookie's got a bit of a caning, it's fair to say, 9 favourites out of the 12 races.
Yep.
And it meant that the margin was negative.
But that happens, and I mean, ultimately we've had a very good run, but last week was a win for the punters. What I do know is that they'll reinvest, so yeah, it swings and roundabouts.
They've got to win sometimes.
Yeah, they do, yep, and we want them sometimes to win.
A couple of weeks ago we had outsider after outsider, so it happens. Not, you hope there's a bit of a balance, but yeah, the poor buggers, they got a bit of a caning.
Really feeling sorry for them. Look, let's review a couple of these races from last week, Darren, because here's the first of them that I wanted to have a look at. Akuta back in winning form. We know his chances of starting in the IRT New Zealand Cup are somewhat limited, I would say, at this stage, maybe down to about 10%, but if you hit the play button there, this is awesome. Great run Republican Party, came from the 1-1 where he followed invitation only, and of course Franco Mack, who used his really good early gate speed, got him into second position, but he's a tank, this guy, and he's still, Darren, going to trim down a little bit more too. He's now going to Kaikoura, I understand. There's still a chance he might be in the Cup, but as we know, the depth is so good. But home in 54-1, Ian Dobson celebrating that birthday last weekend. We're going to watch another of his horses shortly. Very good Republican Party. He'll win at Ashburton on Monday, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah.
It was awesome, that race, Greg. Well out of its grade, Fovo Gambler.
Yes.
Fair way back on the corner, and he's actually got past a few of them, and he's managed to run 6th.
Here's Herbie. Another nice horse, here's Herbie.
100%. When Fovo Gambler gets out of this grade and back into something a bit more comfortable, he's going to be very competitive. He went okay.
Speaking of the Ian Dobson colours, let's have a look at this performance because, man, Muscle Mountain low flying. Pressing the go button here, Ben Hope. 27.9 the quarter from the 8 to the 4, and he just put paid to them. It's also notable the performance of Sunday Sun, who galloped at the 800 metres again. Watch him charge up the inside.
He's not even in picture at the moment.
No, he's not. So it's a stunning performance to get into 5th, but he is a sight to behold when he's in this sort of form, going towards the Renwick Farms Dominion. He's going to take on Bolford Brilliance, who's going to be at Kaikoura as well, and of course Sunday Sun now. Looking further back, I'll get out of the way here because, here he is coming into the picture. He bolts in, brilliant performance from him. But have a look at the ground Sunday Sun makes up. He's not trotting the way they want him to trot, and therefore they can't put him in the race like they know that that's how he dominates those sort of races. But if that gets fixed in the next couple of weeks, we're in for some unbelievable races. And Smokin' Bandar, the grey, jumps into the Renwick Farms Dominion.
Yeah, he jumps up to ranking number 9, so those couple of performances which have been outstanding have grabbed him a start in the feature Group 1. A great horse, so that'll be cool on show.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got some news around waiver. Let's have a look at that. So this is basically a cashless IRT New Zealand Cup Day.
Yep, so we've talked about it before. We want to make sure everyone knows it's not new to Cup Day. We've been doing it for a number of years. But this time it'll be right across the course, including owners and including members. So the only way that you'll pay for food and drink on the day is using waiver.
Can you use it, Darren, to bet?
Yes, you can.
Right.
So you can use it to bet, and you can also use it to have your winnings put back on your waiver wristband as well. So basically when you come through the gate, you will be given one of these. It's a very simple wristband. You activate it. There's a small fee for activating it to start with, and that's the only fee on the day unless you're using a credit card.
Yep.
And you simply wave it across as you buy something, which speeds up the service, and there's a refund at the end of the day that you can get put on there as long as you cash it out on the day. If you cash it out after, there's a small fee to cash it out. It's used at all big events anyway, Greg, yep. and as I say, it's not new. It's just that we will be using it in those other couple of areas as well.
Yep.
So
it's a really good innovation, particularly around those big events, that is for sure.
Addington.co.nz for all your ticketing. So Joe informs me that
where are we at?
Yeah, look, there's a handful, and when I say a handful, only a small handful of hospitality tickets available. So if you're looking for a whole package with a reserved seat and your drinks and your meal and everything else, there's only a handful of those left. And most of the hospitality areas are already sold out. I think spectators, even show days now, sold out. So if you're wanting any of that stuff, just click on Cup Week from the main page of the website and follow your nose. You can't miss this sort of stuff. You buy all your tickets online. Also, as the Crossing Fashion starts here competition, which you can enter online, all of that information's there. But GA tickets and
just click on that for us, so that when people go into here, because often people say to me, how much is it to actually go on Cup Day? Well, all of the details are here, and if you buy your tickets early, it's cheaper than on the day. And well, speaking of on the day, I don't think we're going to have any tickets for sale on the day, so you basically have to buy them now.
No, so the likes of Punters Lounge will tell you it's already sold out. The ZM Public Village, so those tickets are available as well, which is basically your GA ticket, and you just follow your nose and it will load the page.
So there you go. The early bird ticket sale is $39, $49 if you want to get into the Public Village, $89 if you want to go to Bacardi on the Green.
These will expire in the next few days.
Yeah.
So the early bird one at $39 to get into the course will expire, and they will be $49. So if you want one of those, get in now. There's plenty of these available.
Yep.
Because GA sells a wee bit slower than the rest of them. There's not a lot of these available.
No.
And as we've said, this will be a cool vibe on course. This is the Lindau Lawn area, which has been rebranded this year, Bacardi on the Green. Tell me it's the biggest selling rum in the world. We might have to try it. And the Pundits Lounge, which I think there might be 1 or 2 tickets left in there. But
no,
basically,
it's just been sold out. So there you go. Whoops. There you go.
So it's really simple. Follow your nose, and all of the information's there about what will happen. But we just want to touch on that waiver thing again.
Yep.
It is simple. We get that some people won't be that familiar with it. Anyone that's going to other major events will be familiar that that's what happens at a lot of events.
Yep. All right. We're going to do a full meeting preview for Friday night. We've got 11 races. There's a pretty smart one in race 11, Son of Mac. I think he'll be short price, but after his third in the Harness Million, I think he'll be hard to beat. But Darren and I will do the full preview, and then we're going to have a look at Vintage Cheddar and a winning performance here at Addington Raceway, which was in the junior free-for-all, and it was an outstanding one.
The only thing to remember too is just Survivor.
So apologies,
last week of that, Greg. So
what's happening here? Was this your effort?
This was my effort, and of course I can't win it, but I always throw one in with some roughies. It'd be really bad if they won. But just to show you what happens, so you basically pick a horse in each race. You need a green tick here. If you get a green tick here in race 1, you survive to race 2. You just got to pick a place getter. You're winning a $100 Mitre 10 voucher for this Friday night, and you'll be in the draw if you win the competition this Friday night for a table for 10 on Cup Day.
Which is valued at over $5,000.
Yep. So this is your last chance to enter that. Basically Google SEN Survivor, follow your nose, you can't miss it.
All right, stick around, we'll do the preview and enjoy Friday night.
All right, let's get into a full meeting preview, the last race meeting before IRT New Zealand Cup Day, and it's IRT Night of Legends, Greg, where a lot of these races are named after legends of the sport that have achieved so much. Race 1's the IRT Your Horse Our Passion Trot, 2,600 metres, and we get underway at 4:39.
Yeah, really interesting program, Darren. Plenty of opportunities too to back a winner. In the first, it's an even maiden trot, but Feel the Moment's done nothing wrong when it's 2 runs to date, behind Paramount Empress, who's been a subsequent winner on Premier Night, and Hot to Trot. So it's a great form line. Yes, it does go back to a stand, but it was in a stand at its first start and handled that with good aplomb. So I think it'll be hardest to beat the 7 over 12 Sigrid, who was excellent in her 2 runs and has been to the trials. And actually go back and have a look at that at HRNZ. Gee, she was outstanding. Tim Williams drives for Laura Mackay. Gave a chance to Magic Dash, who did nothing wrong on debut on the grass here at Meffin's, been back to the trials since then. And the other one I thought had a chance was Izia, who had her chance on Sunday in front, but her prior runs include a second behind Paramount Empress. 7, 12, 14 and 10. Good race to start the program.
Race 2's the first leg of the early quaddie at 5:14. The Charles Roberts Fillies and Mares Mobile Pace 1980, first of our legends, legend on breeding and as an owner, and of course part of Woodlands stud, Greg.
Yeah, Jezebel in the first, a big part of Woodlands. I thought the spear was excellent on debut, did get beaten by Daredevil, but that's pretty good form line, I think, for that. Second row draw, yeah, it's not ideal, but I reckon she can just about win this. To beat Sweet Diamond, there's a couple in here for Steve and Amanda Telfer. Sweet Diamond and Secret Delight, they've both got chances, and Pearl's a singer, not the worst in this either. But I think Jezebel around Melbourne Cup time, Darren, it's probably appropriate, and I reckon it can take out race number 2 for Robert Toby Anderson.
Race 3 is a prelude of the Lone Star Size Stakes series for 2-year-old trotters, 1980 at 5:42.
Yeah, look, these 2-year-old trotters, it's fantastic. We've got numbers and the quality. One Over the Line came out of the stakes race, the New Zealand Bloodstock race last week, finishing third behind Southern Diamond and Hellberg. Gets a front row draw here, like last week. Reckon very competitive. The 5 to beat 6, Show No Fear, who was excellent in her first campaign. Darren Simpson knows she's got the ability to be here and doesn't travel as horse unless they do. Kiss and Run was great out of that same race, so I'd give it a chance even off the second row. And Tectonic is a horse that I think, when he cops this game and understands what it's all about, may well be the best of them. Don't let him under your guard. 5, 6, 9 and 15 in the third.
Race 4 is the Cecil Devine handicap pace, 2,600 metres, 6:08.
Yeah, the great man who trained and drove 6 winners of the New Zealand Cup. Name associated with this one. I've gone with the 10 here. I'm your Huckleberry. The Dunn team get together. Winner, fresh up. Third last time behind Petrify. I thought was a good enough run. Very, very hard to beat. Even race this, though. O'Need and Mickey, it's just had the one run back this time in. We'll need to lift off that. It was in behind Don Maro, but can do so. Better Be Sharp. So a handy enough horse. I reckon it'll go close in this. Very good campaign from it last time for Gerard O'Reilly. And Fovo Gambler, you mentioned that in our review from last week, drops way back in grade here out of the Group 1 behind Akuta. Wouldn't be without a chance, the son of Betting Line. 10, 16, 3, 5.
Race 5 is the Jack Smolinski Mobile Trot, 1980 at 6:43.
Of course, won the Cup with a Rapaho in 73. Went with the 3. It's so easy. Margot 9 and Peter Davis get together here. The Mobile should be of assist. I know it's taking on some horses that won a lot more races, but I reckon she's going to win her share out of the brilliant race mare and with intent. Martha Stewart will be suited to this race. Just check the bookies odds on her. She might be overs, and if she is, you want to have something on her. No, one thing for sure is Prince Tekka will go forward and make a race of it. And if it gets the front, it'll be hard to run down. And Galway Girls won 3 out of 11. All 3 of those at the back end of that last campaign. Got it wrong last time, but there was good support in the I Dream of Jeannie mare's race down there at Oamaru. Don't count her out in this Mobile. 3, 7, 8 and 12.
Race number 6, the Peter Cole Mobile Pace, 1980, a special night for IRT in memory of Peter. 7:17 this race, Greg.
Yeah, of course, he only died not that long ago. So, it'll be special, and it's great to have IRT getting in behind this night, and I'm sure the Peter Cole Mobile will be a night of remembrance, but it'll be a special one for them. I think Beach Ball can win. Fresh up, has trialled nicely, and behind Alta Meteor, very, very good horse this. He should take all sorts of beating. Steph's Boy from the draw should go forward, be in the fight for a long way. Art Attack got off the gate from the same draw last week and was second behind No Time Like Now. And the sectionals were excellent in that, about a 56-mile rate home in 56. So it's got to be a good chance again. And last of the Mohicans, Lawrence Hanrahan did it again. Shipped one down south, bang, first up, got the money. Should be competitive in this as well. Good race, though. Race number 6, 8, 2, 1 and 6.
Race number 7, talk about legends of the sport. The Derek Jones Mares Spring Sprint Mobile Trot, 1980 at 7:43.
Yeah, trained hands down, of course, trained Blossom Lady, trained 1,000 winners. There wasn't anything in the game that DG didn't do, and probably the most recognisable name worldwide in harness racing in his, late mid-70s, I think, when he passed away, DG. So, yep, great to have his name associated with this. Sue Princess. How many wins is that now, Darren? Make that 15 at the weekend. You know, she's just been a great example of how you can, I'm not going to say manipulate, but utilise a rating of a horse up and down, up and down. And she gets into this beautifully again. She'll be hard to beat for sure. I Dream of Jeannie. Spoke to Mark Purdon at Meth, and he said was trotting beautifully, and I would have thought it could have run on the money there. Didn't have much luck, and then galloped for No Reason here last time. I think the mobile will really help. It's already won a couple of those. Time Up the Hill's a quality mare, as we know. Looking forward to her getting back into race trim and fitness, and she'll be in this. And Simone Lindeni will appreciate the mobile too. But smallish field, but a good race just the same. 4, 6, 5 and 3 in the 7th.
Race 8's the Jim Dalgety handicap pace, 2,600 at 8.11.
Yeah, we lost Jim this year, of course. Son Cran doing an enormous job alongside his wife, Chrissy. And this will be a good competitive race. I'm loving the price around the Falcon each way. Steps very quickly, led, trailed, and behind BD Joe and All-American Lover last time. Much better performance, much more like his best form. He'll be hard to beat in this. I'll go for the Falcon to beat Smithy's Terror, who won the Methven Cup. The Falcon gets a 20-metre head start. That might be the difference here. You've got to consider Krug, even though he's 40 behind. He's a 3-time Derby winner. Both derbies here in New Zealand, of course. So he's a good horse, and I think the Redcliffe Derby on top of that. And Steal the Show has been racing well for ages. And don't we be forgetting, Darren, he finished 4th in the Cup last year. 4, 9, 10 and 5 in a very good Jim Dalgety.
Race 9 is the Roy Purdon handicap trot, 2,600 at 8.40.
No bigger name in New Zealand harness racing. Master trainer. I think they won 18 out of 20 premierships at one stage. Roy and Barry won the Cup with Soul Command, won it with Chokin, won it with Luxury Liner. I think I've missed one. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, you get the picture, don't you? You know, when you hear the name Purdon, you think of Roy, you think of quality, and this handicap trot's a good race. I'm sure he'll be looking down and will enjoy it. What did I go for here? I ended up going for Love in the Port. Horse that won on Cup Day last year, strode by Phil Williamson. I think his 2 runs back this time in have been good, and I reckon he'll take some beating in this. So 5 to beat 9, Harold Smith, who's racing really well. Royal Dell, who you know my thoughts if you watch Addington News, is always there or thereabouts. And Andy Hall off the 30 metres won't be out of this either. 5, 9, 6 and 12. And what should be, another great addition of a trotting race here at Addington, I reckon.
Race number 10, the Bill Feast Mobile Pace, 1980 at 9.08. Greg and Bill, and of course Jean, massive supporters of the industry. Bill's passed away, unfortunately, now, but both of them very, very good horse people in their own right, trainers, and of course huge owners of the sport. And Jean, of course, owns a number of horses, including the great Self Assured, who will be there on Cup Day.
You know the one I missed, Darren? Christopher Vance, 1991. Anyway, yes, what you've said about Bill, I just reiterate, mate. He was a great bloke, and Jean's just an enormous supporter of the code and New Zealand harness racing in particular. So nice to have Bill's name associated with this race. Cougar Express, a 2-year-old here. I'm going for him. 2 starts back. He was 3rd in behind Warrior Chief and was excellent in that race. And didn't have much luck last time, so I reckon he can get some money here. So I'll go for the 8 over Aroda, who's beautifully bred. Get this, by Art Major out of A Door to Our Dreams, which makes it a half to Akuta. Trialled up really nicely. Gavin Smith takes the drive. Was a trial winner at its last start. Harry Belafonte. Michael Howard trains, of course, the late Murray Edmonds, a breed that he and his wife Kelly have had a long association with, and gave us all a bit of a cheer when fresh up last time. And Viscount Banner's got some breeding, Darren, by Sweet Lou out of Regal Banner. So, it's the mainland Banner family, which, of course, in 2005, she was successful in the Cup. Starting a bit of a run for the mares with the likes of Adore Me taking it out too. Good race number 10, but I reckon the each-way value of the night might come in the form of Cougar Express.
The last race, race 11, celebrating 50 years of IRT Mobile Pace, 1980, of course, so the sponsor of the great race. They've come up with this idea for this race night this week, which we're really pleased about. It adds to the flavour of our history, not only with our horse people, but the horses, which we've been doing in recent times, naming a lot of the races after previous champions. And this is a great way of celebrating and looking after that history. This race gets underway at 9:38, Greg.
Yeah, he's a good man, Richard Cole, and he thinks outside the square too. And their brand associated with Addington and the Cup, it all fits nicely because they're about quality, and this place has put on some quality races over a long period of time, and there's none better than the Cup itself. Let's back the winner of the last. I think we can. Southern Back will win this. He's run third in the Harness Million last week. Often you find these 2-year-olds coming back to their own grade. They're just too good for them, and I think he will be. So I'll stand him out. El Chico for the Duns, Robert, Jenner and John. First up win, of course, was at Methven. He's a pretty fair horse, but he'll need to be to beat Son of Mac. Live On Legend, I reckon, will go forward off the gate and get some pretty forward in the race and be hard to beat from there. And Obsession is a filly that's better than her form would indicate. But yeah, I really think it'll be Son of Mac's race to lose in the last, and therefore I think he's the best bet of the night, although his price will be pretty short.
This is the last race meeting before Cup meeting, but we will continue with Addington news, obviously, without a preview for the next couple of weeks, just to update you with as much information as we can around Cup meeting. The day before IRT New Zealand Cup Day, we will have a walk around the course and show you some of the areas, the gate area where you'll be coming into the course, the owner's ticket collection area, and a number of the rooms that'll be in and about. Greg, we're going to leave everyone with a video of 2020 Vintage Cheddar winning the Junior Free-for-All, and we picked this race on purpose just to remind us that those Southlanders love coming up, taking our money. We have Kirsten Green with a really strong team heading towards Cup. Nathan Williamson, obviously Craig Ferguson, perhaps with Street Art, and also the great grey horse Smoke and Bandar. Lyndon Bonds doing some great things. He's a trainer that runs under the radar a little bit, but Tweedledee and Crusher Collins, and he's got a couple of other young horses that are doing good things. So we thought we'd just remind people, and I know that Alistair Black,
Darren, of Henry Skinner and Austin Stack and all those sort of guys who, they just add so much flavour to our New Zealand Cup carnivals gone by. So there's a new breed coming through, and they've got some exciting horses.
Yeah, we will have left some Southland names out of that, but they'll remind us of that, no doubt. There's that many of them, but they do love taking the money. And Alistair Black got a real kick out of this, particularly with Vintage Cheddar, who won both Cup and Show Day this year. So we'll leave you with that. Have a good night on Friday night, and we'll talk to you next.
Hard at work, headed off by Pembroke Playboy. On the cards, Vintage Cheddar and Burnham Boy onto the scene. On the cards, went to the lead over Pembroke Playboy. Jazzy Star gallop. Here's Vintage Cheddar after on the cards. Vintage Cheddar on the cards in the Junior Free-for-All. It's going south. Vintage Cheddar and Brad Williamson win the Dunstan Horse Feeds Junior Free-for-All over on the cards. Third in that Alexander Guy. Fourth Mongolian Cavalry. Then Pembroke Playboy and Burnham Boy. Jazzy Star might have cost himself going roughly in the lane from Fabrizio. Then Franco Niven, Mikey Maguire. A Better Act Wild Excuse.